Hi, everybody. So, I am coming to you with good news. Mercury retrograde is officially over. This one was a doozy. I don't know about everyone else, but I had the roughest time these last 3 weeks. And I made some notes because I wanted to make sure I'm sharing it correctly. But these 3 weeks were so intense, and I'm curious if anyone else had a similar experience to me. So, Mercury retrograde started on July 17th and lasted through August 10th, which is yesterday. Today is August 11th. Now, there's this shadow period that they say that the retrograde, you can still feel the effects up through August 25th, is what it said. But the fact that the main retrograde, the intense part, hopefully, fingers crossed, is completely over and we are in the clear, even though a few small things might come up. But these past 3 weeks have been so intense, and it was different than a usual retrograde. For me, sometimes like people from the past will come up, or just things with technology not working, or things breaking or being lost, and just stuff like that will come up, which not so much. Not really anyone from my past, I think. Maybe a few small things like here and there, but I just had a bunch of medical issues that came up this time, and I don't know where it came from. So I want to say, like, I'm not complaining. I'm so thankful and I'm appreciative of my health, and everything can always be worse. There's a lot of people out there that have it worse than me, but just these last 3 weeks have been rough. Okay, so I'm going to start at the beginning. So on July 21st, which was like 3 or 4 days into retrograde, actually one day before, so like on the 20th, I went to the beach with my friend, and then we were passing through a parking lot afterwards, and there was like two $5 bills crinkled up on the ground outside. So I was like, oh, okay. Like, you see money on the ground, like it was 2 5. So I went and I picked it up. And I put it in my pocket, and then there was this thought that automatically just went through my mind. I was like, what if there was fentanyl on the bills, or what if it was laced with something? We were kind of in a weird area, just almost an abandoned parking lot. And I was like, oh, okay, that was weird. What if there was something on the money and it was laced with something? But I already had the 2 5s. I like got into my car and I put it in the door, and I just wasn't thinking about it afterwards. So the rest of the night was fine. We got in and out, and then the next day I woke up and I was in bed, and I realized, before even like getting out of bed, barely opening my eyes, the left side of my face felt tight. And you know when you just, something feels off but you don't know what it is? I was just waking up, and I get up and I could feel like this pressure, this tightness around my eye. And I'm getting up and I know something's gonna look off. So I look in the mirror, and this whole area here was like a black and blue and droopy. The skin was very like soft. It almost looked like it was holding back water. It was a weird look to it. But something was off. It felt like it was some sort of like infection. I had never had a sty before. It could have been like the precursor to a sty. And I just felt this tightness, like it was contracting in my face. So I booked an appointment with the place I go, my eye doctor. And it's an optometrist. It's not like it's an ophthalmologist, which now I'm like learning more about eye doctors. And so I just went there because I could drop in that day. She had prescribed, she said it could be like two things. It could be allergy related, or it could be something that would need an antibiotic, like an infection. So she said to start with the Zyrtec, so I took one of those, and I kind of knew it wasn't allergies, but I took it in case. So this was my first trip to CVS after. I have many more trips to CVS. I don't even want to know how much I've spent. And just so you guys know, I have had insurance my entire life, and I had transitioned jobs recently. So the end of June, my insurance stopped, and for my new job, my health insurance didn't kick in until August 1st. So this month of July, I didn't have any insurance at all. And there's always the option to like continue your previous insurance with Cobra. I think it was going to be like $800 just for that 1 month to continue it. So I was like, if something comes up, I have that option, but it's not something that I want to do. So I didn't have insurance, and of course something random just comes up and I'm like, no, just this one period I don't have insurance. So mind you, I don't have insurance at all. Back to the doctor, she prescribed the Zyrtec. I took the Zyrtec, and later that day it didn't do anything. So she also prescribed doxycycline, which is an antibiotic, and she prescribed 1 month, sorry, not 1 month, 1 week of that to take. And I took it, I started taking it. And then the second thing that she prescribed was doxycycline, an antibiotic. So I started taking that later that night, just knowing that the Zyrtec didn't work and seeing the results. So the second day, it actually looked worse. I figured it was going to look a little bit worse just because it didn't take into my system yet, the antibiotics. But I'll see if I can link a picture here just to show you what my eye looked like. But this thing was bad. It was swollen shut. It had, like, underneath it was black and blue even more, and then over top it was swollen shut. It just looked nasty. There was nothing, no pus really or anything, but it was just swollen shut. I knew it wasn't pink eye because I had pink eye when I was little, and I knew what that was. So I knew this was something different, and it didn't seem like a sty to me because you couldn't really see anything physical, even underneath. Like, the eye doctor looked underneath and she couldn't see anything. So the mystery continued. I continued a couple days of the antibiotics, and then slowly it went down. Mind you, she told me I couldn't wear glasses for like that week, or I couldn't wear contacts for that week, so I wore my glasses. And I never wear glasses. I have them just in case of like an emergency. If I'm traveling, I'll put them in my carry-on just in case. I don't even wear them at night. Like, if I take out my contacts, it's because I'm going to sleep. And these glasses are really old. I'm talking like high school, like middle school, maybe, like a long time ago. I had these glasses. They don't even fit right on my face, but I had to wear them because I didn't have any other option. So I was stuck in these glasses. But we made it through. So I'm continuing to take the antibiotics for a couple days. I still wasn't seeing much improvement, and I just wanted a second opinion. So I booked a visit to my doctor, my regular doctor. So he also gave me a topical ointment to put underneath. And then I had a follow-up with the eye doctor later that week, just to see. It still really wasn't changing, so she added 3 extra days of antibiotics on. So I took that longer. And then I also, with my dermatologist, had to have some sort of small surgery for a biopsy on my abdomen. Everything was fine. It was just like something atypical, but was removed. So we are good. I have stitches now. I left there last Wednesday when I had the procedure, and the bandages and the steri strips, I don't know if it's because of the placement of where it is on my abdomen, but if I'm sitting, if I'm standing, the skin moves around. So it literally just came off, and the stitches were exposed like 3 hours after I had the procedure. So I had to go back into the office, and they readjusted it, they refixed it, and then a couple days ago it came off again, but they said I can just continue to add like the Aquaphor and bandage it up, and I should be fine. And then the latest update, probably like 3-4 days ago, everything here was clearing up from the antibiotics, and I continued just to use the topical cream. But then I started to notice that there were these little red dots underneath. At first I thought it could have been like a pimple, but it wasn't a pimple. And then I could see like some veins popping out on the bridge of my nose, underneath my eye. I just knew something was off. So I ended up, I wanted blood work. I just wanted to see if there's anything underlying. So I went to the urgent care, and then I also went to this other lab that does blood work just to see. I literally had my bandage from my dermatologist with my stitches here on my abdomen. This arm I had blood work. This arm I had blood work. So I was just like bandaged up. And I got the results back. Everything was fine with that. But then the urgent care doctor, who I loved, 2 of the Cedars doctors that I have are amazing. Shout out to Cedars. And she had recommended me to take a steroid, 3 days of a steroid. So I'm on day 2 of the steroid. The redness went away, which is good. But she had seen like a little bit of, it looked like it could have been a rash, and she said that it could be an after effect of the antibiotics that I was on, that this is something that's common. Even though I had finished it, my body could be having some reaction. I could feel like my scalp was dry, and then I had like these little bumps like on my head, and like she saw some redness on my neck. So it's just been like one thing after another, and then it's weird because the symptoms would kind of progress. So I'm on day 2 of that. Thankfully, the stitches are healing. I'm feeling a little bit better. And then the last step, she wants me to see an ophthalmologist who can really just see maybe what like is still going on. It's almost there. I don't know if you guys can see, but it just is not 100% better. It's been already 3 weeks since the beginning of retrograde. And now that retrograde is over, I'm hoping that I can finally just heal and get back to normal. So I'm on the hunt for an ophthalmologist that takes my insurance, and it's kind of tricky. Some of the eye doctors, they recommended the earliest booking is like October or November. Some take the insurance, some don't. But all in all, over this retrograde period, I have seen 8 doctors. And mind you, this was in the last like 25 days, 3 weeks to 25 days. I've seen 8 doctors. And other just random things come up. I went to the beach with my friend, and I had locked my keys and my wallet in the trunk of my car as I was changing my shoes. I closed the trunk, so I had to call AAA, and they know me so well because I call all the time. Actually, this year I've been better. I'm not calling as much, but in years prior, I was calling them pretty often for locking my keys in my car. So I hope you guys had a better retrograde than I did, but I'm happy that it's over. And usually I'll use this time to like focus on finishing things or like getting organized in my life. If it's like these tasks that you don't want to do, like deep clean and like organize things you would never really organize, like drawers, or like things you've been putting off. Or I've even been focusing with the extra time. I can't go to the gym right now with the stitches, so I've been focusing on like getting organized on my computer and like all of the files and moving things around and like planning out my future month and things like that. So I'm just using it to like structure my life a little bit more. So I feel like that's what I kind of lean into for retrogrades. I'm curious if anyone else has had a similar experience, but I researched what this is. I'm like, what is this retrograde trying to tell me right now? And I looked it up for Libra, which is my sun sign, and it says that the topic of this was death, but it's in a positive way. It's the death of things holding you back and of really transitioning into this like next stage, into new opportunities. So it says, embrace the changes that you want to activate in 2025, and everything is unfolding in a serendipitous way, which is really good. And I've done fun things on the side here. I went to the OC Fair. I went and saw the Dead Sea Scrolls, which I made a video on YouTube about already. It just doesn't feel like summer, even though it's just starting to get hot in LA. But yeah, so I hope everyone had an enjoyable retrograde period and enjoys the rest of August. Thank you. Okay. So that was my retrograde. We are through it. We made it through, and we don't have to worry about another one until I think it's November or December of this year, which holidays, all of that going on, but we got some time to figure it out. All right, I'll see you guys.